It's good to know that you're already here. Welcome. My name is Tijoma. I'll go and come back, and then I'll tell you exactly what I have with you today. Of course, you know our first lineup every day is press review. Do stand by. Okay, welcome again. This morning, I've been joined by Tony Aniebue, our public affairs analyst for the Press Review Tuesday morning edition. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, AJ.
Welcome. Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's see what we'll have trending in our website this morning. Flooding, Anambra State Deputy Governor Ibezim meets with State Response Committee. Opening of Labo Dam. Anambra State government asks riverine communities to relocate ahead of impending flooding. Asia adds new drugs to tariff. Okay, these are the top stories from our website this morning. Let's look at this flooding and the opening of the Labo Dam, which of course is an annual festival. Let me just put it like that. It's an annual festival. Every year, the Labo Dam will be opened and then it will swallow Nigeria. And now, the deputy governor is talking about response by the committee, and then people living in the riverine areas are also asked to relocate ahead of impending flood. I know there are places, camps that were fixed for them, and then, but most times they don't like coming out on time. Let's start with this flooding. What do we do to mitigate it? Do we always expect flood every year?
Well, like you said, it's becoming an annual festival. Of course, almost every year. Of course, every year there will be flooding because there must be rainfall. But my own view to that is that there must be something substantial that will be permanently done. We should start looking at long-time permanent solution to this problem of flooding along River Niger. I've asked somebody and said, why is it that Nigeria cannot dredge River Niger? Because if you stand on top of the bridge and look down to the River Niger, you see that it's filled with silt, sand. It is not that deep anymore. Now, if you dredge this River Niger, the water level will go down to the extent that even when more water will be flowing through there, maybe because of opening of this dam, it will not get to the point of swallowing nearby communities. We should start talking about permanent solution to this annual festival. We cannot continue to relocate. Our River Niger is not the only river that are inland. If you go to all over the world, there are rivers. Do they flood every year like this?
No, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. You know, when you say that it's an annual thing, as long as rain falls, yes. I wanted to ask you, is it like that in let's look at our region, other West African countries. Do they have this kind of flooding? Look at Cameroon. To avoid flooding, they have this Labo Dam. And then when it gets to food that it may, pushing water into the city, they now open it and, channel it to Nigeria. Is there nothing you can do to mitigate it? One, and then is anybody benefiting from the flooding that comes annually? Because you talk of security, they say some people may be benefiting from this security in the nation. Perhaps that's why it's difficult for us to stop it. And then you talk of a whole lot of others. Say some people, is there anybody benefiting from Nigeria being flooded every year? Otherwise, why can't we do something? I know. Is it part of it?
Okay, well, benefit because some people emergency management. Or people
Oh,
non office,
okay.
there are people benefit, but that is not even the main, because
At
those number
at
of
the
people,
expense of our lives.
yes, those people that are even along within that area of benefits are not, they are infinitesimal compared to the entire Nigerian society and Nigerian governance. Okay, so it doesn't come in to talk about people are benefiting from it, because I don't think government is benefiting to that extent. But the point, like I said, is if Cameroon dammed the river, okay, and at a certain point they let it off, what happened to all the length of the river inside Cameroon? So it's not an issue of damming it. If you dam it in Nigeria, will it sustain it? My position is that when you dredge River Niger and the flow of the water is even, give it a big depth, that the water level will be down below the ground level, to the extent that any upsurge will be accommodated without spilling over. You understand? Then you saw that
That's an engineering
yes,
one.
you saw that this annual event of people relocating every year, there must be a solution to it.
Okay, but we can't stop talking about this flooding until we have also spoken to the riverine area, brothers from the riverine area on heeding to the advice, because
Yes.
most years I think we have had 2 casualties, 2 children that the flood has taken this year, and then the main flooding has not come over. So what do you tell our people so that we'll curtail this thing before it gets here?
Even outside the riverine flooding, there is this flood that happened recently. I'm sure in my own community we had some effect on it. Obunike, 2 villages experienced serious flood damage due to the heavy rain that came around. You understand? And the people are still battling with how to cushion the effect of that flood incident. Like you really said, the advice is for those people who are living by the riverine area to make move now that the flood has not really come exactly. They can now relocate, you see, because as in if every time, so the point there is that those that are the inhabitants of those, because people moving when they have just been told. Of course, they know, not even being told, they know that this is time. They call it EG. They always know when this EG is coming. So I want to believe that they are already making move. If they are not started, they should start now to make the move to relocate before the EG comes in again.
Okay. Yeah. Finally, from our website, Asia adds new drugs to tariff. There has been a lot of controversies about this health insurance scheme, whether we are getting the benefit for our expenses, or whether these people that were concerned, the hospitals were concerned, are really giving out what they are paid for by the government.
That is another thing, because sometimes people, I would say maybe, I don't know what to call it, but sometimes people are not getting the benefits of what they are putting in. Okay, if certain vital drugs that are needed are not added to the consignment that are being dispensed, the doctors will not, because all those drugs are paid for. So the ones that, if they are not enough, they will not give you what is not there, okay? But nothing, are they giving the people all that they should give them in that health insurance arrangement? So, but I thank Asia for adding more drugs to that, to their consignment, so that enough will be given to people to make sure that our health are upgraded. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's now venture into the papers. Daily Sun is our first paper this morning, and the banner headline there says, Tinubu risks riots as 2 ministers. Tinubu risks riots as 2 ministers. I will not spare incompetent officials, vows the president. And then Nigeria grinding to a halt under you. PDP. Okay, federal government evacuates 298 Nigerian irregular migrants freed from Libyan detention. And down here, federal government prunes list of delegation to hunger, orders non-inclusion of officials without role. Okay, that's all we're taking from here. Let's look at the next paper, which is the Daily Times. A show of shame in Benin City. Deputy Governor, Governor's security in public hot exchange of words. Let's see what's the problem. Shaibu's media crew denied access, and then security cites order from above. Rumor of Deputy Governor's office relocation, rife. Okay, this is what has been going on in Edo State between the governor and his deputy, Obaseki, and his deputy, Shaibu. Okay. Any other story here? No other story. Let's move over to Punch story. Punch newspaper. FEC unfolds 3-year economic revival plan. Tinubu warns ministers. Of course, we have seen that warning before. Ministers to achieve first phase of Tinubu's 8-point agenda within 3 years. Okay, Tinubu inherited bad economy, youth unemployment, unacceptable. Minister. Okay. NLC, FMBN clash over 238 billion National Housing Fund. Divide and share. Okay. Daily Independence is our next paper. Tinubu says his sides on tackling inflation and first volatility. Okay, volatility. I won't chop my tongue here. Okay, and then gives ministers targets to revive economy and prosper Nigeria. And that's ultimatum is just a 3 years ultimatum to have, completed one or two things from the agenda of the government. Okay. Issues that gave rise to 1963 Midwest referendum still exist. This is coming from Obaseki. Obaseki is the governor of Edo State. Edo deputy governor stages walkout as aides are forced out of event. Really sure of shame. Okay, this day newspaper, on top of the name template, we are in big mess. Shetima declares on economy. Let's look at the rider, see the kind of mess we have found ourselves. Challenges. Okay, challenges Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform. But the banner headline here says, at maiden FEC meeting, Tinubu charges ministers to revive nation's ailing economy. With some riders there, it says, unemployment unacceptable, unacceptably high, and then bars uninvited government officials from attending hunger in USA. And then Edon, we inherited bad economy. This is one excuse that APC started giving 8 years ago. Very, very surprising that the excuse is resurfacing after 8 years of inheriting bad economy from the PDP. Okay, the Nation newspaper. Tinubu targets economic revival, 50 million jobs in 3 years. Okay, it does appear the whole papers are saying the same thing. On widely appointments of SSAs, SAs, PAs deplete lean resources in poor states. This is coming from the Guardian newspaper, please. Guardian newspaper. On widely appointments of SSAs, SAs, PAs deplete lean resources in poor states. Okay, let's before we continue, let's look at the stories that we have seen already, but it does appear they're all saying the same thing from as the NEC arrives from their meeting yesterday. Tinubu reading a riot act on the minister, giving them ultimatum what to achieve before 3 years.
Well, actually, the main issue there is reviving the economy. It had always been the problem in Nigeria. Our economy is depleted. Our economy is bad. What I wouldn't subscribe to is trying to pass the buck or claiming we inherited this, we inherited that. before you come into power, you must have looked into every indices, every aspect of the society, and must have worked out your plan to deal with all those areas. So what the former, or rather your predecessor, went through, you were there. You saw it, you saw all of them before you indicated your interest to go into government and solve those problems. Okay, so APC, this is almost, can I say, nearly 10 years or around that. 9 years you took stop from PDP. You are still talking about inheriting. Okay, now this present government must do something very, very drastically tangible in order to put Nigeria out of the wood. A lot of people are suffering out there in the street to the point that it appears that as if government is at war with the people, because what we always see every day is either electricity tariff increase, or increase in tax, or increase in this, increase in that, subsidy removal, high cost of petroleum products and other petroleum-related issues. Every day, nobody wakes up in the morning in Nigeria and say, thank God for today. Apart from you are happy for your health, at least you are still alive. So what
for your life,
yes,
not for your health.
I'm still.
Most people are sick and they don't have money to go to hospital.
Yes, yes. So the government must have to, the ministers that have been called up and charged to help to revamp the economy. That's what they will do. But I remember that the past government also charged their ministers to help to revamp the economy. What happened after 8 years? It got even worse than it was when they took up. So one of the things we are looking at and trying to discern whether it is down and in is that it's apparent that no government is better than the one that it replaced. I don't know. Let it not be our fate that while we're expecting good government as we change government, we end up being given more pain than the one that left. So my prayer is that the present government will do something very, very urgently so that the economy will be revived, so that smiles will return to the face of Nigerians. As far as I'm concerned now, Nigerians are bewildered looking at their fate, considering what it is all about. Okay?
Actually, what is agitating my mind is these excuses that started over 8 years now. And then look at what Shettima said, that we're in a big mess. Shettima declares on economy because they inherited bad, the other guy said they inherited bad economy. And somebody somewhere will ask you, you see all these things like Tony pointed out, and you still killed, you still maimed, you still struggled, you still rigged, you still did a whole lot of things to inherit that bad government. So why complain?
Why complaining? It has no room. There is no excuse. Absolutely, there is no excuse, because what some of us are even asking is that the money that has been pushed into what they call the palliative can put our refineries in shape. Okay, because
do you have any reason why those refineries should not be put in shape? Of course, they say that the Port Harcourt refinery is coming up in December.
Well, that is what we are saying. We are waiting. We are waiting. Yes, that's what's hard about. That's what's hard. But the issue is that some of all these people that are saying this thing have refineries outside the country. Their business are booming outside the country. That is a very terrible aspect. But that's had been the problem. How will we, if not, why should we be exporting our crude and then importing refined petroleum? Okay, petrol and other PMS. Why do you have to import them? When we have refineries here, why not put them in order? And then, because once you put the refineries in order in Nigeria and we refine our petroleum, and petroleum products comes down, the price comes down, sorry, you see that a lot of things along that economy line will change for better. So once you have not done that, I don't think any palliative will solve any problem.
Is it just palliative? I think it may amount to paying lip service to reviving of economy when all your refineries are not working, and you know what to do so that it will start working, or you know why it is not working and you don't want to address that, where do you start reviving? The mainstay of our economy here is oil. So why don't we start from reviving our refineries? Otherwise, we may be paying lip service
that is what the Nigerians are asking.
To this reviving economy that we kept hearing, re-strategizing, surviving, and a whole lot of things. Let's
call it economic jargon that have been used to deceive Nigerians.
And it's been there. So many years ago. We keep starting. Let's reboot. Let's do this and that kind of a thing. I don't know when it's going to end. Okay, like I said, it does appear all the papers here are saying the same thing. Let's go to Edo State and then find out exactly what's going between the big boss there and the deputy, that's Obaseki, and the Shaibu, the deputy governor of Edo State. It started trending for about 2 or 3 weeks now. That's the loss of love between two of them. And now they are saying that it has is now getting to physical, combat where the two security officials are fighting, and the other one saying that they had order from above not to allow you entrance to this place. What is
you see, one of the problems I don't understand is, in spite of the multi-party arrangement we are running in Nigeria, you still have strange bedfellows in one political party. You understand? Because political party is bring people of like mind, people of the same disposition, with the same target. That's why you voluntarily join this political party, because you believe that you think alike. What I don't understand is how a deputy governor and his governor will be at war just on things that, and even to allow it to come to the public, that people will now start to see them fighting over things. You understand, this person being locked out. Is there no way we can bring down our pride and resolve some of these matters and before it gets to the public? You see, so this issue that's coming out there between the governor and his deputy is absolutely uncalled for. It's not, I don't know, somebody must, first of all, there must be what I can call recognition of somebody's rights and position. The deputy governor must have his own schedule, where the governor should allow the deputy governor his own schedule. Let me say it that way, okay? And then give the deputy governor his own rights. And the same way, the deputy governor must also accord the governor his own rights and own schedule. So why should they have this type of face-offs that will even metamorphose into using security to stop the deputy governor from coming to attending a program? It is absolutely, I don't know why we have this type of thing in Nigeria. I don't know.
I was actually thinking that that Edo State has enlightened community when it comes to
the area that I even want to look at is in that what Obaseki said on the issue that gave rise to 1963 Midwest referendum.
Okay.
He said it still exists. And actually, if you look at in almost all the regions in Nigeria, you still see a lot of things that need political solution. The whole Nigeria is, I don't want to use the word mess, but you can call it that, because all over this country, there are what you can call unknown gunmen, agitations that have gone into becoming violent. The country is being is on hotspot now as I'm talking to you. Of course, everybody knows, it's not just now. Boko Haram came, and then before you know it, metamorphosed into bandits. Before you know it, you have unknown gunmen everywhere from north to south, from east to west. There must be a political solution to all this. It's not just about rolling out the tanks, going to fight them, destroy them, bomb communities, and then kill this and kill that. When we have other means of solving these agitations, you see, so I want to take it from where Obaseki made that statement, because the only way you solve political problem is referendum. Let the people decide. Insofar as we are discussing, we are in democracy. Let's take some of these matters to the people, refer to the people, let the people give their own view. In voting, how do we solve this problem? Because like outside the economic mess we are in security-wise. There is mess in security also. All over Nigeria today, you cannot. In fact, some of my friends that are outside this country find it very difficult to come home because they will tell you kidnapping is here, payment of rent, this and this, unknown gunmen are everywhere. So, is there no other approach to solve this problem outside bringing more weapons, recruiting more army, and then we continue to fight in almost all the 30 states of this country? There is battle going on. So I'm saying that there was a time people called for sovereign national conference. It was fought with the last blood of Nigeria. They stopped that. The national dialogue that Jonathan's government also put in place, that sat and came out with their own resolution submitted to the presidency and National Assembly. Whatever came out of that very waste, because a huge sum of money was used to do that national dialogue. What happened from there? Nobody has given us any action from the submission of this dialogue. And then in fact, it's taking more and more of our economy, our human life. People are being killed almost every day. And nobody is giving account and even taking record of people that are being killed. Because today, nobody is saying, in fact, if you hear in the news, 20 people have been killed in so states.
You say only 20.
People will just say only. And then remember this 20 is just conservative estimate. Okay? And we've been passing along as if nothing happened. That those 20, 30, 40, 50, almost on daily basis. And still, the government is paying deaf ear to these killings. So I must agree with Obaseki in that area. There is need for referendum in almost every section of Nigerian political section. There must be. In fact, let's start looking at solving some of these problems with political approach. So to me, I believe that Nigeria must sit back and actually look at what is causing this referendum. All these agitations, up north, west, east and west, down south, there must be approach to that, so that while we struggle to put our economy in good shape, we also put our mind in good shape. Whatever, let Nigerians decide. For these years, the government continue to say no-go area. We don't discuss this, we don't discuss that. As if to say we are in prison in Nigeria. You don't discuss this, don't go this area, don't go this area. And at the same time, we allow our people to be killed repeatedly in every section of the country. Yet, we say don't discuss this, don't discuss that.
Why? Did they give you a reason why you shouldn't discuss?
Because they don't want anything that will divide Nigeria.
You are heating up the polity.
Because how can I be heating up the polity if you have free mind in discussion? It's only when you don't want me to talk about something that it will amount to hitting the polity. If you give everybody freedom to air his view, and if we finally in that discussion the right approach is identified, why can't we? Let me give you an example. If dividing Nigeria will make Nigerians better, why can't we pursue it and look at how we can? Because the ultimate thing is to give every human being that is in this portion of the world a good life. So if after the discussion we discover that it is to divide Nigeria that will make us a better human being, why should we be in this type of cold run, killing ourselves every now and then because we just want to be one?
Okay. I think we have another story here. It formed part of the reply that what do you call it? Tinubu got from the opposition party. Saying that Nigeria grinding to a halt under Tinubu. This is coming from PDP. Nigeria grinding to a halt under Tinubu. PDP laments. That story is coming from the Daily Independent. And then, I'm not trying to draw a comparison between this regime and that regime. But what do you think PDP has seen that had made them make these statements? And do you consider PDP a good opposition party, considering what happened when they were in power and what APC did to them, the kind of opposition, the kind of thing that they gave them wrong for their lives while they were in power? Do you consider them a good opposition party?
I want to start from there. PDP is not doing enough as an opposition, as first-line opposition party to APC, because I remember that during the time PDP was in government, even a small increment in fuel price, you will see demonstration, protests, people setting up a discussion in every aspect of Nigeria, and be checkmating the government on what they were doing. Today, PDP is just as if to say they are just waiting for another opportunity. But you must work for it. You must make the government know this is not what it should be. This is the way it should be. The PDP is not showing us that what I can call that alternate government approach. We are not seeing PDP coming out with this is the way it should be done and done better. You understand? They are not. They are just staying in their beautiful, cozy environment, enjoying themselves, and then waiting for change that will just come from heaven. So as far as I'm concerned, in that aspect, PDP is not giving us enough what we expect as opposition party. Then on the issue of the nation grinding to a halt, this is well under Tinubu, that's even where it ended under Tinubu. When Buhari came, all of us felt that the nation was also grinding to a halt. Because from the first day to the end of this last regime, Nigerians were groaning with pains. And we groan with pain until we are hoping that Tinubu or the next government that will come will give us better treatment. And only for us to start on the that first day to experience pain. Okay? So, Nigeria has been grinding to a halt. I don't know whether it will end up because like the last statement, last topic I mentioned here, this issue of political problem. It is also part of what is grinding Nigeria to a halt. Insecurity everywhere, violence everywhere. That's what is also helping to grind Nigeria up outside the economic problem. Are we safe in the environment? There are some countries that are at war that are even more peaceful than our own.
Safer. And then
our own is we are not at war.
They eat better.
Yes.
And they had a lot of things better than those
their economy,
of them that are not in
war. Their
war.
GDP is even better, even while they are at war. Yes, exactly. We are not fighting, so to say, but we are fighting more than those people that are fighting. You see, so a lot of things are grinding Nigeria to a halt. Economic problem, insecurity, everywhere. These are what investment. I know what Anambra State has experienced in the area of people moving out of this state based on insecurity. I'm sure many people left Nigeria also to Ghana because of insecurity. So those people would have added to the growth of the economy. But once you are not comfortable in the environment, nobody will like to invest in a very tumultuous environment. So there is a very big problem that Nigeria will look at. As we look at economic problems, let us look at our political problems. Agitations all these agitations must be looked into politically. Political approach is the best way to solve a problem. Instead of violence every time, fight. And so as long as you continue to fight, you will continue to fight.
Okay, let's come back home. Let's come back home and find out what's going on in our region. This point in time, is it even Imo that is going to take the next staggered election? Labour Party, that's LP, fingers Governor Uzodimma over attack on Imo Party Secretariat. What is going on in Imo, Tony? The other day we heard about the judgment that was given by the Accord there. That's Aburime. Is it Aburime? Abure. Okay, it's no longer the chairman of PDP. Labour Party. That is now Apapa. Of course, some of us are asking question: what is the judiciary doing to this economic or nation called Nigeria? Yes. Otherwise, I think that case has been settled in Abuja. Why did it resurrect again in Abia? And now Apapa is now saying that if you are not, if you didn't pass through primary through me, that you're not going to contest in the election in Imo. And then this other thing that's going on between them and the sitting governor, and every attack, killing, and a whole lot of things going on in Imo. When is it going to stop?
You see, like when we discussed that of, is that Edo? I still believe that something is wrong in our political framework. Labour Party just became, let me call it, came online of recent, although Labour Party had been before. But the problem we have is that we are opportunists. Nigerians are opportunists. You understand? Before emergence of people will be in Labour Party is a non-issue. Nobody is interested. Whether it was whether Apapa and Aborome, they are all there, they were not fighting for anything. But once it appears that their profile has showed up, the battle in Labour Party started coming up. Before Labour Party participated in this government, Aborome and Apapa were there. We are there fighting.
I think the name is Bure.
I don't know whether they put me on there. But the point I'm making is this. It is when we start, we don't know how to manage achievements.
Is it a matter of achievement? I think what some analysts figured out was that some big parties or political exploiters are using one faction to, to water down, whittle down the popularity of Labour Party.
That is still achievement.
So it doesn't actually mean that the Labour parties are having problems within themselves. I think this is an agent coming from somewhere. Go ahead.
There are about 30 or more political parties in this country. Why are those outside influence not appearing in other parties that you are not hearing of?
Yeah, just because
Labour Party has come to a limelight
and then gain popularity.
And that achievement has come in. And this is what I mean by not being able to manage it. Now, why should you, people that are in the same party, allow yourself to be used by outsiders to disrupt your party? All these things are not being able to manage progress. Okay? Yeah. Then on this issue of Imo State, you know, Imo is, let me use the word, on the limelight today in the southeast because of the emergence of Hope Uzodinma. And what really happened around that. In fact, when you can remember that when Hope came up, many people, especially in Imo State, were against him. They said it was a Supreme Court governor. Now an election is coming to either sustain him or unseat him. It must be very, very explosive. Some political parties have started telling Hope to pack his property and that is going to be pushed out. And so the battle there is going to be very, very hot in Imo State. Very, very hot. Labour is fighting, ADC is fighting, PDP is fighting, of course,
APC.
Another party. APC is in power.
Okay,
so
APC
the rest are
they
but
not
another
fighting?
thing I don't know is that why is it that our oppositions cannot form a common front in order to unseat the incumbent if they want to?
Selfishness.
Yes, because once you decide to divide the opposition, once you divide yourself, and that is where this multi-party is becoming debilitative, because it's pushing, dismember the strength with which opposition can fight.
But we witnessed something like that in, was it 2014, when the two big parties, two opposition parties came together as to form APC, yes, and then wrestle power out of PDP. Can
this still be done?
Why not?
It cannot. Because if it's possible, can you remember that PDP was even accusing Peter of whittling their power by moving to Labour? That if he had stayed together, they would have been able to fight through in APC. So the question is this: everybody wants to believe he will win it. We are going to win it. Not remembering that when you pull your resources together, you have more strength. Well, the same, Imo election will come to pass. It's not only Imo, there are other states that have a staggering election. But let the Imo people put their acts in order. Possibly they may get where they're going to. Possibly Hope will come back.
Okay, thank you very much. The last papers we have here, Daily Trust, President Tinubu unveils 8-point agenda, saying the same thing. Tribune, Nigeria Tribune. Federal government ends borrowing for now. FEC says these are part of the things that really happened yesterday at the FEC meeting. Okay, but they flagged the down. Okay, we talked about the down. I think that's all we have for today, coming from this press review. I'd like to thank you very much, Engineer Tony. Forgotten your name. Engineer Tony Anebwe.
My baby has forgotten my name.
Nigeria is giving me depression.
Yeah, Nigeria.
Okay.
Depression, really.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, my dear.
Okay.
Viewers, thank you for being part of the program.
All right. Tomorrow is another day. Do remember to join us tomorrow. Bye for now.